for those who don't know you and what you do in Bakersfield, can you give us a little insight about who you are and how you got into the industry?
Yeah. So my name is Sun Lee, and I'm the managing director at Capstone Partners. We do wealth management, life insurance here in the community. How I got in this business was through Cal State, my internship program back in the day, and I've been doing it ever since. So right now, really my job is to go out there and help clients, but also impact folks that want to get in this career just like I did.
Right. And I know you told me your degree was in accounting. So kind of what inspired you, or what kind of just pushed you to pursue, the wealth management industry?
Yeah. So when I got into, the accounting major, what my thought process is, if I'm getting into business, I want to get into the hardest concentration possible in the business world. And I thought accounting would ride my ability to go get a managerial job, go work for a corporate or work for the bank, but obviously do accounting at the same time. But as I approach, interviews and go into career fairs and, meeting with firms, it was something that for me, I didn't want to do. And at that moment, I had my oldest daughter, and I've always wanted something that created freedom for my own time, freedom financially to do things I want to do for my family in the future and not be capped. And so when I bumped into this career, I thought it was really too good to be true. You're saying if I work hard and I get to help people at the same time, I get rewarded financially for it. That to me was a really no-brainer for the fact that we're in a career that, we provide things as life insurance. And I don't know if, you understand, people die. Right? That's a guarantee. So we sell a product that we know that people are going to die. Right? I mean, what's no more than a no-brainer than that at that point?
Right.
Another thing that we do is, help people save for the future, whether that be short-term college planning or for retirement. At the end of the day, we're going to get old one day. All right. And, most corporations, as you get older, they'll find younger, talent and pay them less and get rid of you. Well, we're not all bulletproof to, getting laid off.
Yeah.
And so at that point, we know that we need to save something for our future. And really, I look at my own life when that perspective comes is that I want to do that for myself. But most importantly, the reason I want to do that and make sure that I'm financially okay in the future is so that my kids don't have to worry about me.
Right.
Right. And so those are things that we do for people, and it's needed. Right. We're not educated in this field, whether it's high school, whether it's college. We actually have to take finance to do so.
Right.
And so we're very illiterate when it comes to this business. So when I thought about the industry, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. People are bad with money. Right. So we sell products, people always die. We do things that people will need in savings perspective for the future. And people are bad with money. As a consumption society, I think I'll always have a job. So that's why, I pursued this career.
Okay. And I mean, you're right. Your credit card debt is at an all-time high right now. And, there's all this financial literacy, media for people to consume on the internet to kind of learn from it. There's YouTube videos about budgeting and all these things, but no one really, they watch it, but then it goes on through one ear and out the other.
Right.
But yeah, okay. And, I've obviously tried the industry before going into accounting, and it's not for the weak. The success rate of someone staying after the first year is 10%. So how did you overcome that? What do you feel separated you from the rest?
The biggest thing for me personally is I'm very goal oriented, right? I think, people, live life on and on and on and on every single day monotonously. They wake up and they go to work. They wake up and they go to work. And by the time that your day's gone, then your week's gone, then your month's gone, right? I'm 40. I'm like, where the heck did the time go, right? Imagine other folks that aren't doing this business. What are they doing with their life? And so for me, consciously, every single day, if you can see my phone, I probably have 6, 7 alarm ring bells that come on every single day. One that is at 5:30 when I wake up in the morning, 7 o'clock, 12 o'clock, so forth and so forth. And it has my goals every single day of, what I want to make, what I want to do, X, Y, Z. And people tend to forget that. And so they don't have a purpose when they get into this career. They want to be like a boss, but they don't have the work ethic, as a boss, right? Everyone has $1 million mindset, but do they have, that $1 million work ethic, or do they have the $1 work ethic, right? And for me, if I have attached a goal, and I think that's really important when you're goal-oriented, I always, the one word I can say, is that Mamba mentality is the one word. And people don't understand what that means, right? Are you outworking, your competition? Are you outworking yourself to get to those goals? Every single morning I hit the gym. All right. How many people do you think that do that even on vacation? Let alone just generally every single day. And so I think because I'm so goal oriented, it keeps me focused on what I need to do.
Okay. And what do you think are, besides work ethic, do you think there's any other skills that really help you that are essential for your success?
I personally feel that everything can be learned, right? If you really want it bad enough, you can learn. Yes, there are people that have natural talent. I like you when you talk about someone is 7 foot, you can't teach that, right? That's talent. Like, you are born with that ability of height, right? Some people are born, I think, very smart, but not all doctors are smart, right? I believe that if you, absorb yourself in a book, if you want to be a doctor, all you got to do is learn from that book, read that book, study that book, and study different areas to how to become a doctor. And then eventually, just because you're not smart, but you did what it took to learn about the field, you become a doctor, right? In every profession the same way. If you absorb yourself in that profession and get better every single day with the skill set, and everything that it takes to get better, then I think you can succeed. I would take talent, right? Plus work ethic is a crazy combination.
Yeah.
But I would take work ethic all day over talent.
Okay. And how do you feel you've been affected by, these economic downshifts and upshifts? Trump just won, the market's going great, versus, a couple years ago, the market was doing okay. Housing is at an all-time high. How do you feel these things have affected your industry?
Well, yeah, it has good and bad effects depending on what you look at it. But for me, I don't let the outside, affect what I do on the inside, right? When I let that happen, that's when the outside affects you. But control what you can control. So I always say control the controllables.
Right.
So if Trump won, how can I control that? I can't. Like, there are massive other people that voted, right? So whichever side you voted on, I can't control who won. Right? Can I control the market going down? No, not really. Can I control what people are doing with their debt? No, not really. So at the end of the day, the stress level that you put on yourself, stress is good, but at the end of the day, can you control what you can do every single day for your family, your future, whatever that may be, without having to worry about the outside noise. Like I mentioned, the market is up, it's down, the economy is up, it's down, whatever that may be. But there's still people making money regardless in whatever situation. So what are we doing, right, outside of that? Why are we worrying about things that we can't control?
Right. Okay. And, with the rise in technology, you got AI and all these robo-advisor services. Do you feel that threatens the industry in any way for those who, like to do the...
No, I really don't. There is a niche market for everybody, whether it's, Walmart getting into the industry, right? Walmart's getting into everything. Amazon getting everything. So we've had robo-advisors before, AI. So, I do believe, it could impact the business in a good way, not in a negative way, because, our business is human interaction. And I don't think a robot can ever replace that, right? Even with today's technology, people are still weary of fraud, of the internet, putting their banking information till this day, right? So I don't think that when you have a real life conversation with people's, well-being, their finances for their family, you can't replace that human emotion, that human, I care about you, I care about your family. So yeah, AI could actually be a really good thing, but I don't think it'll ever replace an advisor in a sense of a relationship basis in this.
And how do you build and maintain the trust with clients, especially during uncertain times? I know probably with, the recent election, you find maybe some people are like, oh, I want to buy a so-and-so stock, everything's going up. Like, how do you manage that?
Well, I manage it more in the fact of being real, being you, right? You don't want to create a facade where when you need something is the only time you call your clients.
Right.
Right. I call them touch points. So you want to make sure that you're calling your clients on their birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, or just sometimes call your client and share, hey, like I just went, on a trip for my 20th anniversary, or I went skiing with my kids, whatever that may be. You come back home, it's like, hey, John, this is son, how you been? Right. This is not business related. I just went on vacation with the family, had a good time. Just want to follow up and see how you're doing. No business, nothing. But from a genuine standpoint, right, normal conversation.
Yeah.
And I do that with just friends alone, right? Not only for business. So, one thing that, I like to, check up on is my friends, my family. And we feel like we're so busy doing our own thing every single day. No one's that busy. I'm just saying, right? I don't care who you are. No one's that busy. But we like to pretend we're so busy. So I like to take a moment every single time that I get a chance, and I'll scroll through my phone and I'll call somebody. I'll call through. I'll say, hi, hey, how you doing? Hopefully everything's okay. Is there anything I can help you with, right? I hope your family's doing well. And just a check it, because we don't know what people are going through in life, right? And we got to come from an understanding, make sure that our friends and our family are doing well.
I like that. Yeah, I feel like, exactly what you said. Too many people, they want to seem like they're always busy. They don't take that time to reach out to their loved ones and just, give them a check-in call. Just, hey, how are you doing? You don't want nothing. You just want to see how they're doing.
Yep.
But okay. And what do you feel is common financial mistake that people would make, especially nowadays with, you have all these social media influencers telling people to get IULs and whole life insurance and all this. Like, how do you combat that? Or do you ever get associated with that?
Well, in our world, really, it's not about the product, but, we want to just be better than what they have, really,
right.
At the end of the day. We're never in the position to replace relationships, right? That's not our job. Our job is to add value whenever we can and however we can to our clients. And so if it's that looking at what they currently have and revisiting them, it's more about being educated on the product versus going in and say, oh, you have this bad product or that bad product. No, just like, hey, this is what you have. Congratulations, you did something, right? I'm glad you did. So if they've already something, it always tells me that they care enough to do something about it, right? Now our job really isn't to replace the business, it's to educate them on what they have, but what can be better.
Right.
So we're better. Who wins? The client wins and we win at the same time.
Okay. And, obviously you're a very regulated industry. How do you stay on top of all of the regulatory changes and, industry best practices?
Yeah. As a managing director, you have to stay on top of these regulations, but also working for a large company, with Capstone and Mass Mutual, they have that, compliance side that protects us. When you're on your own and you're doing your own investment firm and all that stuff, you got to deal with all the compliance yourself. And the good thing about us here, plus it actually is an added value to our clients, knowing that when they do business with us, there's a whole compliance team not only is protecting me, but it's also doing it because they're protecting the clients at the same time. Right. And so that's a value added when clients do business with, knowing that there's no Bernie Madoffs around here, because if there is, they're gone. Right. Everything is so regulated. And I'm glad that we do have, compliance officers that are on top of what we do, so that when clients are doing business with, they know that they can sleep at night and they can trust us to continue on to refer more business. So that in itself with the more ever so going, regulations, I always say this: whatever regulation comes out, we got to deal with it. We got to work around it.
Right.
Complaining doesn't do you any better. Complaining doesn't help a client. So how do we work around these things and meet the needs of why, whatever agency set these goals and standards? Somebody did something, right? Just because somebody did something, we all get punished for it. But at the end of the day, what else can we do? Are we going to sit there and cry? No, we got to help our clients some way, even with tighter regulations.
Yeah. Okay. And follow up, how do you approach those type of ethical challenges in the financial industry? Do you ever find yourself face to face with them, or have you ever seen it firsthand?
No. Well, my philosophy, and you have to have certain philosophies and standards when you get in this business, right? And what I teach and what I tell my advisors is do right by your clients, right? Do unto others as you do unto yourself. What would you recommend if you were the client? Would you do that to your own self, to your own family, right? From a personal, finger pointing right back, you pointing that way, this pointing right back at you, what are you going to do? Would you do the same thing as if you were recommending X, Y, Z to your client? If you are, then you're doing the right thing. If not, then don't do it.
I like that. That's a good philosophy. Okay. And what emerging skills do you think will be critical for future financial professionals?
I personally feel relationship, right? Being able to talk to people, understand people, listen, right? The especially with social media, TikTok, Instagram. I don't know if you know this, but the average attention span now is lesser than a goldfish, right?
Yeah.
When they used to say a goldfish's attention span, you got an attention span like a goldfish. Yeah, if you say that now, it's actually good because attention span of a goldfish is, on average, scientists says is 9 seconds. The average now is 8.
That's okay.
Right? And so, kids these days or people that get into the workforce, especially being young, don't have that attention span, right? They don't know how to deal with folks. Going through COVID, a lot of these kids, didn't have that schooling that they met with their friends at the school. They were through Zoom and going to school online. So they've lost that set of skill set, now these days. So I think relationship building, getting into this career is really important in the future.
Yeah, that's very true. I feel like industries are now just seeing the effects of COVID had on the, working force that's just barely entering the market. They lack some social skills. They don't have that attention span. The work ethic just isn't there.
Yeah.
But, all they can do is just try to see how they get around that.
Yep.
And the final question for you, looking ahead, what impact do you hope to have on the industry?
Like I said, it goes back to our goals. The industry in itself will always be here. But the impact for me is not only for the advisors, but the community. So with Trailblazing, with that, we always have goals. Like our goal is to get $1 billion of assets under management, $1 billion of life insurance in force here in the community in itself, right? Not other places. We can do business out other states, but just here in Bakersfield alone. Just imagine the ripple effect that we have just on the insurance, life insurance alone, that we can get $1 billion of coverage here in Bakersfield. Do you know what generational wealth of a ripple effect that can have for the next generation and so forth and so forth? And as more people get educated with, life insurance planning, wealth management planning, estate planning, so that the next generation can be better off. And so going back to our goals, that's what, we have set forth moving forward as we hire more advisors come in. And they know, hey, we're trying to impact the community in building wealth, right? And also saving for their future. These are things now that have that ripple effect that we're looking for, that we can see in the future.
Okay. Well, that about wraps it up. I don't know if you have any last things you want to say. But that's it.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Good. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Absolutely, bud.